My name is Alma Lugtu. I'm researching the most effective methods used in personal finance education. COVID-19 has pushed most education online, but online education isn't new. For the past 2 decades, online education has outpaced traditional student enrollment. Some researchers have found that face-to-face education is superior to online education because educators are able to more easily see or hear student cues. Other studies show that online education can be as effective as face-to-face education. In the realm of personal finance education, which method is more effective? This study demonstrates that when teaching amortization tables as a tool to understand student debt and loan repayment, both face-to-face and online education were effective. But face-to-face education of amortization tables was the superior method to change behavior regarding student loan repayment choices and to understand interest payments made on a student loan. This study was driven by the problem of student loans in the United States. As of 2020, student loans total nearly $1.6 trillion. A key program to combat student debt is personal finance education. Because amortization tables, or loan tables, explain precisely how student loans are calculated, they are a key component that borrowers can use to manage and to repay their student loans. The main question is, which is more effective, teaching amortization tables face-to-face or online? This study was structured by asking 3 questions about an example student loan of $32,000 at a 5% annual interest rate. All participants were asked question 1, which monthly payment option would you choose, $340 or $187? Question 2, can you calculate how much monthly interest will be paid on the student loan? And question 3, can you calculate how much total interest will be paid on the student loan? Then all participants were given the same lesson on how amortization tables work. Using an amortization table listed under method 1, participants were shown the federal student loan standard repayment option, which meant a monthly payment of $340 for 10 years. Participants were shown how selecting the 10-year option would result in total payments of $40,800, meaning that $8,800 was paid in interest. Then participants were shown the amortization table listed under Method 2. Method 2 explains the federal extended repayment option, which meant a monthly payment of $187 for 25 years. Participants were shown how selecting the 25-year option would result in total payments of $56,100, meaning that $24,100 was paid in interest. Then all participants were asked to answer the same 3 questions. For question 1, before the education, 67% of face-to-face participants chose the $340 payment. Afterwards, that rose to 100%. For online participants, 43 initially chose the $340 payment. Afterwards, that rose to 76%. For question 2, before the education, 67% of face-to-face participants responded that they could calculate monthly interest. After the education, that rose to 100%. For online participants, 50% initially responded that they could calculate monthly interest. After the education, that rose to 80%. For question 3, before the education, 56% of face-to-face participants responded that they could calculate total interest. After the education, that rose to 89%. For online participants, 70% initially responded that they could calculate total interest. After the education, that rose to 80%. Both face-to-face and online education increased the number of participants who were able to make positive behavioral changes regarding student loan repayment choices and to learn how to calculate monthly and total interest paid on a student loan. But face-to-face education of the amortization table was the superior method. For further studies, because this sample size was small and fairly homogeneous, future experiments could include larger samples from populations with more varied demographics.